be discussing black budget military projects and other advanced sciences. And we're going to start with this craft right here, the HTV-2. Now, this craft is so fast. First of all, you guys know how fast the SR-71 Blackbird travels? 2,200 miles an hour, and that's the world's fastest plane, right? Okay. The HTV-2 traveled at Mach 20. Got that? Mach 20. That's 13,000 miles an hour. That's how fast this fucking thing was. All right. And some interesting things happened with it, which we're going to get into. But first, I want you guys to see the test flight of this vehicle. And then I'll describe what happened. Okay, so here's the vehicle right here. Now, what happened is that their first test, it flew, and they tracked it for 9 minutes, and it disappeared. It, was programmed to do a rollover and crash into the ocean if something went wrong. That's what they're assuming happened. $300 million right down the fucking drain. Now, they decided to do another test, so they built another one, another $300 million. They flew it. 9 minutes into it, it disappeared again. Now, something's up there. And the reason why I know something's up is because they looked at everything and they're like, all right, let's move on to phase 3. And if you paid attention to the contrail of it, it appeared to be some kind of pulse drive engine, kind of like the Orion spacecraft, which I think is fucking awesome as hell, man. But yeah, isn't that cool? Nah, it's pretty cool. And next, we're going to be discussing portals and wormholes. Yes, this is a part of actual science. It is true, they do exist. Now, I first read about this back in 2007 or 2008. There's been a while. I'll find the article. And what it is these portals exist through a connection between the sun and the earth. And it's a magnetic reconnection. And what happens is when the sun's magnetic field intersects with the earth's magnetic field, they cause a flux transfer event, an FTE, which opens a diffused chamber leading from earth, leading from terra firma, literally the ground, all the way back to the sun. That's how far they can reach. These perfect tubes, completely diffused, so matter will pass through them at the speed of light. Is that incredible or what? From the earth to the sun at the speed of light. And an interesting thing that they discovered was that these portals sometimes are the size of planet Earth. Okay? And sometimes they're really small. Sometimes they last for hours. Sometimes they last for seconds. So they needed a way to try to, study them. So they devised these constellations of satellites called MMS, or Magnetospheric Multiscale Mission. These satellites were set up in a constellation in a tetrahedron form, that what looks like a three-sided pyramid, kind of, which is kind of cool. That's how they find it. It has to travel through the pyramid constellation, travels through one of these X points, which is what they're calling them, and then it's able to study them when the fields actually meet together. And so we know like where they are and how to find them and how to study them. And there's a lot of interesting phenomenon that happens with them. That's so amazing. It lets us know that there is a connection from Earth to the sun, and there is a portal that we could take, in theory, to the sun directly, and traveling at the speed of light with nothing happening to us. Is that crazy or what? And another thing that they discovered, and it's funny, because I actually read this in the article, and I forget when it was. This got to be like 2007 or 2008, something like that. But in the article, they were wondering why the portals open every 8 minutes, which is really cool. It's like, why do they do that? Why do they open up every 8 minutes? Well, it seems rather obvious to me, and probably to you guys. So I don't understand why they would ask such a dumb question if they really didn't understand, or if they just, were trying to make it look exciting or something. But I'm not that I know the answer, but I'm just assuming that it's got to be due to the speed of light. I mean, the speed of light, 186,000 miles a second, but coming from, the sun 93 million miles away, the light takes 8 minutes to get here. So doesn't that seem like, a bit of a coincidence? I mean, obviously it has something to do with it, that it's, every 8 minutes that it's opening up. Is that because of like a flux of ions coming from the sun, or photons or whatever coming from the sun, that once they hit every 8 minutes, but you would think that they would be still just opening up every second because of that. So, I mean, I could see why they are questioning it, but unless the sun had like a exact start time of, this is when it started and it goes every 8 minutes since then. I don't know, but it's really fucking neat that they exist, and it lets us know that you technically could be able to connect these portals from any planet to any star within their solar system. So we might be able to even find tubes and portals that take us out of the solar system to other solar systems. There might be other connections out there that we don't know about. But yeah, this is the article I was telling you guys about. 2008. Look, October 30th. God, that was just right around. It was just, it was almost like 8 years to the date. Look at that. This was pretty cool. Yeah. This article too was really good. It was fascinating. But this is when they first discovered it, and were trying to figure out exactly what was happening. They had some theories on everything, and they wanted to start a mission to go and study them, which they did. The MMS or the MMM mission. So I mean, that's fucking neat. The fact that we can travel through portals and stuff. Yeah, see that every 8 minutes. Love it. I would assume it's got to be from the speed of light, don't you guys? Doesn't that seem like it makes sense to you? I don't see any other way around it. Like, what's I mean, unless it's just the biggest coincidence in the world that, the time that it takes for light to travel to Earth, and the time that the gates open every 8 minutes. I mean, come on. But, who knows? So, yeah, that's pretty cool. Okay, so I'm sure you guys have all seen this picture before. The government making little robotic mosquito drones or whatever to fly around. Well, DARPA doesn't even need to do anything like that. They're so far beyond it. They say, fuck making a little robotic mosquito drone. Why don't we just take over the brain of a fucking mosquito and fly it around? Which is exactly what they do. They take over the brains of bugs and completely control them and have them fly around. They could put little cameras on them, any kind of bacteria or biochemicals or whatever. They could infect whoever they want with whatever, and you wouldn't even know it. You'd think it's just a fucking little bug flying around. That's how badass DARPA is. I mean, fuck building a little tiny robot of it. They just take over the brain of the actual animal and fly that around. You'll never see that shit coming. How cool is that? Oh man, I wish I had a remote control Beetle. He's so fucking cool. It's like stable flight too, man. We could like race them around and like have them fuck with people and shit. Man, that'd be so cool. It makes you think, though, It's funny because his legs are kicking. He's like, fuck, what the fuck is happening to me? He's getting zapped. It's like, this is bullshit. Yesterday I was eating a leaf. Today I'm being fucking mentally controlled. Man, that's cool. Yeah, I mean, when it comes to like DARPA and some of the projects they're working on, and this is one thing that is going to be really scary, but don't freak out about it. DARPA will soon be focusing basically 100% on the online world and more towards social media and stuff like that. They're going to be building all kinds of different algorithms, programs, bots, everything when it comes to the online world for studying it and predictive behavior and shit like that. And I mean, I know it sounds scary, but you got to remember that they are like they're like us. Okay, they want the truth and shit like that. So just keep that in mind. But they're going to be basically building artificial intelligences and programs and algorithms that can tell who you are online, period. It doesn't matter if your computer has a camera or if you go and use someone else's computer. It will be able to determine who you are just by the stuff you type. And it can even determine who you are just by the stuff you're searching online. Just looking around online, it'll be able to determine who you are. So, it's going to be really hard to hide from them online. That's kind of scary. Also, that the stuff that they're working with is mostly on Twitter and Facebook and stuff. YouTube, not so much, because it's more of like a television where people go and select it to watch their favorite program or whatever. But one of the things they're going to be doing is stopping, like, obviously you guys know, if you're any of my subscribers know that there are a lot of bullshitters out in the online world that just make up bullshit. And what they're going to be doing is starting a campaign against these propagandists, these people who spew disinfo and all this other bullshit. They're going to be challenging that with people who tell the truth, and to counteract the bullshit. So if you got someone like Alex Jones spewing a bunch of crazy nonsense about fucking Obama coming and taking our guns and declaring himself president for life and martial law and shit, someone will be fucking on the opposite end telling the truth about everything. You get it? So there'll be people there to counteract the disinformation and stuff like that. And so we'll probably come across some of that on YouTube, but for the most part it's for Facebook and Twitter and crap like that, where people are getting confused by simple memes and shit. And they're going to be creating a program that is able to detect fake images. So if you have a image that someone, how people manipulate images all the time or whatever, they don't have any software that can detect that. It just knows right off the bat if it's fake or not. You have to have an eye for it. But soon they'll have software that will be able to tell instantly if something's been manipulated. Also, even if it's like if someone takes a picture and hasn't manipulated the picture, but they have a title about, or post about the picture saying, oh, this happened but it was a lie, they're just trying to spread some propaganda, it'll be able to detect that out and and counteract that shit too. So that's pretty good. It's scary on how much they're going to know about people and the shit that they really want to look into. Like, they're looking for, they're going to be able to detect who's like the leader in a conversation. Of if a group of people are online talking about a certain subject, they'll be able to recognize who's in charge, who does everyone listen to. It's really crazy, all this shit that they're going to be able to do. But don't forget, DARPA invented the internet. Before it was the internet, it was actually ARPANET. That's where the internet came from. So they're gonna fight for the truth, and they're guys like us, man. They're cool. They're not military or anything like that. Even though they work for the military, they are not military. So don't freak out or anything. And I think a lot of the stuff is actually gonna be pretty cool. And don't forget to come to my new website, realufoproof.tk, and sign up, become a member, and check out all the cool fucking shit we have. Because this is where it's all going down. This is my new home right here. So look at this. The new site look great. This is awesome. And there's a bunch of cool new features and stuff. And so you can come here. You can go and check out my Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and everything. And then we can chat. And this is what's really neat. I like this too. If we haven't been here yet, the chat application, it makes it easy, so you can text or you can be on camera. And also it has a phone app for it too, so it's like as easy as this. As soon as you click on it, you just hit start broadcasting, and your screen pops up with you on there, ready to go live, straight up. And also if you don't have a computer with the phone. I know a lot of people, or a camera, I mean, a lot of people like to use their phone for everything. There's also a app, and you just go right there and click on the little button. You can go and install this app, and you can sit there and video chat and everything just like you can with the computer. So, I mean, that's pretty fucking sweet. Yeah, and there's a couple other features, and now you guys can come and upload your own photos and videos and stuff. And also you can write your own blogs and stories and tell us about your encounters and sightings and everything like that, all that good shit. So, you know, make sure you go and check it out. Of course, you can see like all my videos and stuff will be on here, so that's awesome too. You can go and check all that out. And we know there's different groups for, you know, talk about general stuff, talk about UFOs and everything else. And then, you know, we also got the UFO map up here, so I'm sure a lot of people want to come check that out. Come here and go to links and check out the UFO Stalker live map, which is fucking awesome. One of my favorite things. Check this out. So this will show us all the fucking UFO sightings that have been reported, and it even gives you the specs on everything, you know. So if it's a flying triangle, it even gives you a little animated flying triangle. If it was a saucer, if it was a ball of light, if there was an alien, like there was an alien sighting down here. So yeah, so that's pretty cool, you know. So there's a bunch of great features on the website. Come join, be a member, and say what's up to us. All right, you guys. UFO proof.